So tell me, what's Overwatch Stadium? Break it down for me. I have no idea what this is. I kind of know, but I don't really know.
It sounded like you were smiling when you asked that question, and
I
not in a good
well,
way.
okay. So I used to be a big Overwatch fanboy back when the game released in 2016. I tapered off a bit later in its life cycle. They announced Overwatch 2. I was back in for maybe 5 or 6 months, and then that tapered off again. I have not been clued into what has been going on with Overwatch recently, and they've made a lot of changes. The most recent being Overwatch Stadium, which is apparently a new core game mode
Yeah.
that they're adding to the game that I don't know what it is. So tell me about it.
Yeah, so and I've been, just for some context, I've been playing Overwatch 2 nonstop and like since it came out, since like the launch of
Mm.
Overwatch 2. The only thing that stopped me from playing Overwatch 2 was when Marvel Rivals came out in December and I seen the light. I seen but I will defend Overwatch forever against anything that is not Marvel Rivals.
Mm.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so this stadium thing is supposed to, it's the refresh. It's the refresh that Overwatch really needed to have. And the question is like really just like, is it enough? Is it Overwatch 3? Is it the real Overwatch 2? I think so. I've played it for about like, I played 2 games, which was like, I mean, maybe like an hour and a half of play. That might be a reach.
Really?
It was like it was something
How
something
long are
in
these
between an hour and
games?
an hour and a half. Like it
Like
was
45 minutes each?
my first game was long, bro. Like we went the entire way. Like it's first to 5,
Well,
I
what
think.
exactly is the
Oh
game
yeah,
mode? Like,
I'm sorry.
what are the
Yeah.
objectives?
So it's actually cool. It's actually cool. So this thing, it's like, it's almost like a MOBA in a sense that you're building your character, but you're not laning and then going back to base and building your character. There's rounds, right?
Mm,
So basically, imagine Overwatch, but you
done.
have you have like, imagine instead of playing one full map, like one full match on one map, like one full game mode or whatever, you're
Hmm.
playing like mini bursts of multiple different game modes on different maps. So
Hmm.
like you'll run like a quarter of a push game, and then the round will end, whoever won that, and then it'll go to like domination, and then you'll run like, like half of, like maybe like a third of a domination game, and then whoever won that round, then it switches to a different game mode. And there's new maps too. Like there's maps that are built around this whole thing of you're playing in a smaller, well, you're playing for less time, right? You're
Hmm.
playing half a match, so like a lot of the maps are refitted to only be like half the map. So really like a third of the map, really. But yeah, like it's that was the thing that I didn't really catch when people were talking about it. Like when the people who got to play it early were talking about it. It's like rapid fire. Like it feels like rapid fire Overwatch. Like we're gonna play here, then we're gonna play here, then we're gonna play here, then we're gonna play here, which is really cool. I'm not gonna lie, I really like that. And then after each round ends, there's a period of time where you get to buy items similar to like when you're playing Valorant or something like that, right? Um, and when you're building your character, I won't start breaking everything down because I just don't even have the notes for that. But there's different items that are universal that you can use to build up your character, and then there's also a few character specific items you can get, and then there's powers you can choose from. And powers are like
Mm.
special items that like, they're all character specific, and they'll give you certain things like one that my first game I played with Cassidy, which if you guys haven't been playing Overwatch, that's McCree. Um, I feel like
Damn, those folks have not been playing for a while.
he's like, he was really cool. I am not good with Cassidy, and that was a rough game. I got carried so bad. We lost we took a L and a L and a L. We lost like the first 4 rounds. Whatever is the max amount of rounds you can lose before the game ends, we lost that many. But then, as you know, as I'm learning my build, but more importantly, getting carried by my team, we won every round after that. So
Wow.
it was like as long as a match could have went. Um, and like these matches also like these like little mini games, these mini matches, they can go into overtime. You know, so it's yeah.
Are these matches on like older Overwatch maps? Like, are they the same objectives on the older Overwatch maps, or is it all new stuff for the new game mode?
So yeah, they have some new maps, like some
Hmm.
brand new maps, and then there's kind of repurposed maps from
Okay.
that's maps you've seen before, and it's cool. I'm gonna be honest, like, I actually just talking about it, I'm hyped to play it again. But
It.
there's also yeah, I'm
Oh,
gonna
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, no, what were you gonna ask?
Well, I was gonna say it sounds like these matches are long, but they also going from objective to objective. It seems kind of fast paced.
Yeah,
Did you find it kind of tiring, or do you think the fast paced lends to what makes it fun?
so that goes to it feeling like a MOBA. I have 4,000, at least 4,000 hours into Smite. Um,
Hmm.
I'm gonna hold my tongue on that game. Love hate relationship. Um, and a Smite game. When I started playing Smite, like my first ever game of Smite, I would never forget was 74 minutes. And at the time,
Wow.
I was like that was like extremely different from anything else I had played. I came from Call of Duty and other stuff, right? So
Yeah.
like that match was really long, and I got used to that. Smite matches are typically about like 30 to like 40 minutes long, but a lot of the time they can go to like an hour plus. So like I'm used to being in a game and it taking forever, and over the course of an hour I'm iterating on my character's build and like and trying to like counter or just thinking of different strategies. Like it really does feel like that. It really does feel like that, like the MOBA stuff. And just also when it comes to time, um Paragon was another third person MOBA. It those games, like Paragon matches, lasted like an hour to 30 minutes, like especially during like the Agora, like the first version of Paragon. Like those, I'm used to. So
Hmm.
it didn't feel tiring for me, but I'm coming from those games. I'm coming from the third person MOBAs that this is very similar to. I feel like I can understand an Overwatch player saying like a I can understand people that play Overwatch saying this is too long. Like if I get into a quick play, I'm trying to get into a game for like 10 minutes, and this is like 40 minutes. you know.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I mean, honestly, I feel like a lot of people that play Overwatch, you don't play one game and get off unless a lot of people. I don't
Well.
know. you can get there, but I don't know. I take that back. I should have said that. But another thing I will throw in there is you're locked into that character. Also, like a MOBA, you can't just switch characters mid
Oh,
match.
really? That's
Yeah.
interesting.
So like you choose soldier, right? You're soldier for every map. You're soldier, the entire time. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, I really like that. Um, yeah.
Do, do you feel like that this new game mode is enough to draw in new players?
I think I really don't know, like, cause that was the big question that I was thinking about as I was playing. Like, is this enough? I was actually playing the game with a friend in the share play, and he used to play Overwatch as much as I did before Rivals came out. When
Hmm.
he seen the light of Rivals, he never went back to Overwatch. Like that was just the end. And I told him, I was like, hey, any goodwill that Overwatch has built up over the course of the past 9 years, whatever it is, right? Spend the rest of that on giving this stadium thing a chance. And he watched me play it, and he's like, I'm deleting Overwatch. But you said like a new player, like a brand new player.
Yeah, or
I don't.
even maybe even someone like you who's coming from, I mean, someone who maybe has not played Overwatch but has played more MOBAs in the past. Do you feel like that's the kind of audience that they're catering to?
I would definitely say if you play Smite, especially with the state of that Smite's in. Try out Overwatch Stadium for sure,
Hmm.
100%. I think that if something terrible were to happen to Smite, like it gets shut down, the crowd of people that play, there's this mode in Smite called Arena, which is like you have the whole MOBA build thing going on, but you don't have the lanes like you'd see in other MOBAs. It's just like an arena where you just fight, right?
Hmm.
Um, if that were to, you know, die completely, Overwatch Stadium is where you go. And I'd even say Overwatch Stadium is where you should go right now. Like it's better than that. Um,
Interesting.
it's I would tell any of my friends who played any of these third person MOBAs like Smite and Paragon, to try this out. And if if other MOBAs, I feel like yeah, like try this out. If you play MOBAs, try this out. But when it comes to just like, I feel like those people, I feel like those people have tried Overwatch before, and I'm just thinking like about the new player, like because recently I got a friend, I got someone that I know to play Overwatch for the first time. Like they played Overwatch for the first time ever in
Hmm.
2024, right? And they are hooked on Overwatch.
Oh
Like they
no.
like yeah, it's bad. I felt
How
so
could
bad.
you?
Like I that person was the nicest, like the chillest person I think I've met in like a long time. And on Overwatch, they're screaming like it's bad. It's yeah, it's bad. But
You're
they're
like you're like that guy that they told me to stay away from in middle school who was gonna offer me weed. Like you shouldn't have done that to him, man. You've
bro.
opened him up to a life of hatred and cynicism.
I think this Overwatch Stadium might be the next level. This might be like cocaine or something. Because
Well, sorry, go ahead.
I think the friends that I know that never really clicked that much with Overwatch, that did play those other games, they might really click with this one.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
It sounds like an interesting strategy because from what you're describing, it sounds like more of a hardcore experience
it is.
than even the like quick play of Overwatch, the base game, um, which is kind of a different direction than what I would expect. It sounds like rather than moving towards the audience that's playing maybe a game like Fortnite or even like Roblox,
Hmm.
it sounds like they're going in a different direction and targeting maybe more folks who are familiar with PC centric MOBAs like Dota 2 or League or Smite. Um, so, thinking about that, it might be a smart move on their part because they're going for that other audience rather than doing what it seems like they've been doing the past few years by going free to play and having microtransactions and
Hmm.
skins and things like that and catering more toward the Fortnite crowd. It seems like they're moving maybe not away from that, but in a direction where they might be able to get a certain subset of people, like you said, who enjoy MOBAs and that sort of long form gameplay and get them into Overwatch. So I'm curious to see how that works out for them because it's not something I'd considered before, but it makes sense as a strategy, at least on paper. Um, so I'm curious to see what that does for them. I mean, personally, obviously, gaming news. There's been other big stuff going on, so I haven't heard a lot about what the reception to Overwatch Coliseum has been.
Stadium.
Um, but Stadium, right? You
And
know,
yeah, it's only been out for it dropped right after Oblivion remastered dropped. Like it's only been out for a
yeah.
few hours. Yeah.
But Overwatch has always had an audience, even if they're not, it's not the
Mm.
cultural phenomenon that it used to be. They still do crazy numbers, so I'm curious to see if that's going to fluctuate after this release. I mean, I'm sure it will, like most major releases. They'll see a surge of players, and then given a certain amount of time, whether or not it tapers off is yet to be seen. But, I'm always kind of vouching for that team because Overwatch it kind of represented something when it when it released.
Yeah.
It represented innovation in multiplayer games, and a lot of other games
Yep.
followed suit. And we wouldn't even have half the games that we have now if it weren't for Overwatch. So I'm always kind of rooting for them, even if they've turned into a bit of an underdog these days. I mean, not really, given the numbers they're still putting up. But it would be nice, I guess, if this does well. I think.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like, and I wonder, like, how could you save Overwatch, right? Like, and I think what they're doing, this is it. This is because Overwatch needs a refresh. Like, especially after like Marvel Rivals, being as big as it is, it needs
Mhm.
something that says, "Hey, everybody, come back, try this, play this." It needs Overwatch 2.5. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It needs to have that, and I feel like if for all the people that have ever enjoyed Overwatch, I would say give this a chance. And I'm not saying that because I think that it's in the best state ever. I think that it definitely needs more characters. Like, it only has like 14 characters, which is like
Oh,
that's so
really?
stupid. I understand it because like every character now has all these like these trees and stuff like that, but no, like no. I know a lot of this
Mm,
stuff existed when they were working on PVE, so I can't really I'm not too sympathetic to that. Um, so
yeah.
it's not the best thing ever right now. It's really good, but I would just say just because because of how good Overwatch has been in the past, and just how much I care about Overwatch, I would want people to give this a shot because this is like their last chance. This is
Yeah.
like they're not really. If this fails, we won't see Overwatch for a while. I feel like I think it's gonna just kind of
Or at least any big major changes
yeah
for a while.
yeah like for like a good like 3 years something like that. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna be a minute. So I would say like try give them a chance. You might like it, and I think it's interesting what you were saying, like how it's not even targeting the new people. The third, like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. It is interesting. It is disappointing to hear that they've only got a few heroes because it seems like the trend of the Overwatch team has been kind of half-assing things the past few years, and so the fact that they wouldn't day one have the full roster in there is really disappointing. I
There's
mean,
always a catch.
yeah, it's what it feels like, but
Like,
it sounds like a very specific subset of people will enjoy this. So
yeah,
it seems like it's worth checking out for those folks, at
hmm
least.